I want to respond to a topic that's on your plate for this week, and that is organizational ethics programs. A lot has happened over the past 15 to 20 years to impact ethics and compliance programs, starting with the defense industry initiatives. So the defense industry working together to determine best practice and how to manage and create systems that help to manage risks within the organization. So in 1991, the federal sentencing guidelines passed, and they were a direct result of the defense industry initiatives, what we know that impacts organizational behavior. Codes of ethics, training, due diligence in hiring and promotion, continuous improvement, anonymous reporting mechanisms, etc. When we were at the Ethics and Compliance Officer Association meeting about a week and a half ago, Wynn Swenson, who was very instrumental in developing the federal sentencing guidelines and supporting them through his consulting practice since, talked about what has happened with the federal sentencing guidelines in recent years and how many prosecutions have occurred. The good news, very few prosecutions have occurred of companies that have violated the federal sentencing guidelines for organizations. So what does that tell us? It tells us basically the system is working, that we know that these processes, procedures, systems are having an impact, and perhaps the greatest impact occurred in 2004 when the revision to the federal sentencing guidelines occurred and the board was made responsible for maintaining an ethical organizational culture. So the transitions and trends that we're seeing here are very positive. Second, I think companies don't need to forget, just because the cases are not being prosecuted as they go down the road, that they can get lax in this area and not try and manage and create an ethical organizational culture. So it's very important for them to continue to be diligent, particularly at the board level, and make sure that they're implementing some of these systems and processes and dashboards that allow them to be aware of where misconduct is occurring, what types of misconduct are occurring, how quickly it's being resolved, and what are some of the emerging issues, and how do they need to be dealt with differently. So we're seeing some very positive trends in terms of the impact of the federal sentencing guidelines for organization. Two, remember that the federal sentencing guidelines are also used in civil litigation. So when there's a class action lawsuit against your company, one company or one consumer or one supplier sues another company for misconduct, the guidelines become a template to see how good a job a company is doing versus the industry average and standards and trends within that industry.